We're going to do a very quick test of SLog versus CINE4. Now for the SLog, the exposure is set at +1 because that's how you're supposed to do it. So that's really the only difference between these two. And this is this one. So now we're back to the CINE4 and we're going to see how this looks in the light. And now we're going to compare them side by side and apply some additional sharpening. So here you have the CINE4 on the right and the SLog2 on the left. And right here what I can see is that the SLog2 handles the contrast a bit better, but the CINE4 is sharper. And what happens if I apply some sharpening effect to the SLog2? Well, here I experimented and found that in Lumetri color, adding 41% additional sharpening was about the max I could go before it started to look odd and overly sharp. You could experiment with Unsharp Mask and potentially get better results. However, I've typically found that you hit a similar ceiling using either one. And here I'm going to increase the sharpening on the SLog2 only. And you do see that it comes a little bit closer in line with the CINE4. However, if I wanted to do a true test, here I can crank up the CINE4 by about 28-29% before it starts to look a little funky. And if I do that, then I quickly see that the CINE4 still definitely looks sharper than the SLog2. Now the SLog2 does handle, again, the contrast a little bit better and looks a little bit softer in that way in terms of contrast. So if I go back now to 100% using the same sharpening that I've applied, you can see that the sharpening doesn't make it look odd. But to my eye anyway, the CINE4 is noticeably sharper. So overall, I think my results to me clearly indicate that the CINE4 does better in an environment where you don't have high contrast. I have shot in environments with very high contrast, such as outside or any other environment where you have high contrast. And to me, it's very clear that the SLog2 vastly outperforms the CINE4, and it's not even close. However, I do think in a closed environment, when you have the option to use either one, I think the additional sharpening of the CINE4, the out-of-the-box sharper image, I think is a major advantage, and I would absolutely stick with the CINE4 if you have the environment where you can set up the lights as you see fit, or in general.